I had monster as my second, but if you wanted to play hunter, I don't mind
I'll
taking
take it if no one else does, basically, because I just played it.
I'll take it.
I'll take it, monster. I love it.
Who would click it first?
Too bad.
Sorry, everyone. I'm still munching down food from lunch. Yeah, everyone that thinks that the monster's not going to come out until next year, I'm just going to say that I wouldn't worry about it. So we got ourselves a Cowliath. Okay. And away we go. Goliath looking all sneaky-like from Metal Gear. I feel like that's what the Digi camo looks exactly like. Monster a little drunk, hitting the walls. Not too sure. Granny.
No way to find out. But if you're right, maybe we could jam the transmission from the Cherenkov dimensions.
No one's ever figured out how to do that.
Yeah, well, I've never tried to solve that problem. Stay tuned.
Good old Lennox banter. And there we go. That Reaver doing everything it can. Pissing Hadrosaur. At that point, I would have just killed the Reaver and eaten his corpse just out of spite. So here we go, down towards the Armadon and Strider pit. Usually a nice little area. I don't know if birds can actually spawn in this back area. Carrion birds, not obviously the birds on the ground. So Hunters in a very interesting split. Trapper completely by himself. I'm not a fan of this split just because in theory all it takes is the monster to go this way and the Trapper can easily get into a very, very bad situation. Looks like that Hadrosaur doesn't like to compete for food against the Reavers. Probably because he probably thinks that he's going to get slowed down. So Trapper absolutely should be cutting through the middle. As a Trapper, you rarely ever want to leave outside this kind of like area where my mouse is going. I feel that Trappers in general should always stay towards the middle of the map and then move towards the edge of the map when you're ready to dome because you have a full jetpack. So they did manage to get a dome. So let's go ahead and see how the formation's off. So there goes Edmund, blasting away, and I like that you go after Lennox once in a while. Not a fan of that orbital. I disagree with pretty much any orbital. Anyone who's on my stream knows that I dislike any orbital that is not used for a Hank defensive measure. And Monster, not sure who he's going after. Needs to be careful, needs to actually pay attention and hit Granny once in a while to break that combo up. So even at stage 1, you always want to be putting pressure on. Flame Breath doesn't do it, so there you go. So there's the combo break, so there's one hit. I'm not sure if that second hit counts, because it's kind of being as the monster, it's kind of hard to tell when it's happening, but it looks like that ×4 has been hitting him quite a few times, and you just need to be very, very careful. So the most important thing is really just to put pressure. At stage 1, you're never going to down anyone anyway, for the most part, so all you're going to be doing is hitting Lennox once in a while to break up that damage from being done, and basically just doing that to put pressure on the hunters. So just be very, very careful. There isn't any reason why Lennox should ever get one of those ×4 multipliers against a melee class in general. It's one of the reasons why I think that she's only okay. If anything, she needs a slight buff, because I feel that good monster awareness will pretty much negate her melee ability for the most part. Because at stage 1, you're not going to be downing anyone anyway, so you might as well keep wrecking her combo multiplier. And when you're at stage 2, all you do is you knock her around until she uses her personal shield, then you use your maneuverability to keep breaking up the combo, and then you just down the assault first. And once the assault is down, just like we saw in the previous games, then it's very easy to go ahead and trade health for strikes at that point. I'm not too sure. I think that Hadrosaur a little confused on where he was going on the map. Does manage to get away. It looks like that the hunter, or sorry, the trapper and medic are going in this direction. Interestingly enough, I don't think that the monster, okay, the monster just did get pinged. So here's some more nice meat in the belly. Almost ready to evolve, just needs a few more pieces of meat. I think only needs 3, maybe, I think that's 3. And there he is, a nice little juicy mammoth, and Lennox right up on the hill avoids the leap smash. And I like that they're not engaging the monster, preventing him from getting his stamina. Now remember, as a monster, if you can hit somebody within 70 meters, it's always worth it to do it if they're not shooting you, because then that triggers the combat mechanic, in which case you'll start regenerating your stamina a little bit faster. So every once in a while, it's nice to throw something back or just smack one of the hunters nearby. Trapper, once again, by himself, needs to be careful. Even against a stage 1, you just need to make sure that the monster just doesn't sneak pounce you. Then you start off at half health, and then I think that the monster would be able to. Like right here, perfect example. Oh, I feel that could have been a very prime opportunity moment to. Unfortunate skill missage there. I feel that Santa Claus got really, really lucky, and another missed leap smash. Might be some latency issues. Yeah, I feel like that there's a couple little bit of latency issues with Dead here. Or sorry, Hadrosaur. There we go. So now that they're focusing, notice how little damage he was taking now when you actually start worrying about Granny. And that's all you need to do. You just need to go ahead and just smack her around once in a while. You know, she's old, she can take it. Because the Plasma Lance at 1 multiplier is kind of pretty crappy, actually. And if the monster is constantly keeping you below 2 combos, it's actually much better to use the whatever her gun's called. I know it's not anti-air, but everyone keeps calling it that. But notice how much better he's surviving this time, because he was spending some time focusing on the assault from time to time. Dramatic difference. So now that the dome is down, the monster going away, he is heading back south again. He was having problems finding food here, so we'll go ahead and see if he is able to get away. Be careful about low ceilings. It's better to actually save up your leaps for when you're outside. And right now, they're actually just doing a lot of damage to the monster. It looks like that they're actually don't care about that he's getting put into combat, and they're just trying to burn him down right now. So there we go. Unfortunate leap on the side of the building doesn't really allow him to get much traversal distance, so just be careful when you use your traversal as much as possible. And Crow up near the pack trying to get a full charge stasis shot. He might get one right around this corner right here, but it looks like that the monster is in fact going to leap away just in time. So let's see if we can get to stage 2 and see what he can do from now. To answer your question, Drew the Baller, how do I feel about Lenny? I think that she's relatively very well balanced. If anything, I think she could use a slight buff, but that's just my opinion. I feel that the reason why a lot of people, even the forums, there isn't a lot of complaints that she's OP, and that kind of just goes as a testament that they're doing a really good job with balance. The biggest thing is just making sure that you smack and break up her combo, and too many people are used to ignoring the assault as it is, And the meta was slowly changing towards going after the assault first, because once the assault is down, there's see, look at that, and that you just can't have that kind of damage unchecked. And there you go. See, once she's gotten hit a couple of times, she's kind of a kitty cat. And that's that's the biggest thing about Lennox, is that I feel that the Lennox is only as good as your opponent allows you to be. So if the monster keeps interrupting your combo, she's not very great, but she's not terrible either. I mean, she's not unplayable.
That stupid Reaver.
Reavers did not like you that game.
Good game.
Yeah, good game.
Good game.
I was telling the chat, one of the things you want to do about Lennox is if you notice, the first and second dome were completely night and day, because in the first one you kind of ignored Lennox and she was just able to shred you apart. But in the second one you started focusing on her, because at stage 1, even if you're not downing anyone anyway, you might as well do damage to Lennox, because that completely negates her melee ability. And if she only hits you with a ×1 or at worst a ×2 multiplier, she's kind of a kitty cat and you're not going to be taking much damage. And so that second dome, like they barely broke through your armor until the very end when they were chasing you. So whenever you go up against Lennox, just smack her once in a while, and then use your mobility to get away from her, and then smack her around a couple other times, and then she has to be forced to use her long distance gun, at which point you can start focusing on other people. But no, you did great that second dome. You were doing really well done. You just had a rough start. A lot of the Reavers just kept poking you off of the food.
Yeah, that first round, I was going for the mobility route, kind of dancing around.
Yeah, and yeah, it definitely showed. That being the case, though, with the hunters, the trapper was by himself quite a few times, and I feel that all it would have taken is a monster that would have landed a couple of abilities. Like that second dome, he missed the leap smash and the fire breath and the sneak pounce because he got a reaver instead. But you could have been in big trouble because you were all by yourself. And even at the very beginning, there was like a 3-1 split with the trapper by themselves. So just be very careful with that, because that's easy to exploit if the monster is paying attention. 1 second.
Yeah, but good game, guys.
Good game.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
go ahead.
That last dome, I was purposely staying at cave because I did not want to see Crow go through my armor.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a bad dome to do because of the loop, but at this point I think we would have been able to down you.